Have you ever stared at a simple task for hours and still couldn't do it? Not because you didn't want to, but because your mind just shut down? You tell yourself, I'll do it in 5 minutes. Then 5 minutes becomes 5 hours. Then the guilt kicks in. And suddenly you're sitting there wondering, what is wrong with me? Why does everything feel so hard lately? Why can't you focus anymore? Why do even small tasks feel mentally exhausting? And the worst part? Everyone else thinks you're just being lazy. Maybe even you think that. But what if you're not lazy at all? What if your brain is simply exhausted? Because real laziness feels comfortable. Mental exhaustion feels painful. There's a huge difference. Lazy people don't usually hate themselves for resting. They don't feel guilty while lying in bed. They don't spend the entire day panicking over things they haven't done yet. Mentally exhausted people do that constantly, and most of them don't even realize they're exhausted. They just think they need more discipline, more motivation, more self-control. So they push themselves harder and harder and harder until their brain eventually says, I can't do this anymore. See, mental exhaustion is sneaky. It doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like ignoring messages, avoiding responsibilities, sleeping too much, overthinking everything, feeling numb, starting 10 things and finishing none. And slowly, you stop feeling like yourself. Now here's something most people don't understand. Your brain was never designed to handle nonstop stimulation. Think about your average day. You wake up and immediately check your phone. Notifications, bad news, pressure, deadlines, comparison, social media, messages, expectations. Your mind never gets silence anymore. Even when you're resting, your brain is still consuming, still processing, still reacting. And eventually, your nervous system gets overwhelmed. That's when basic things start feeling impossible. Replying to one text feels draining. Doing laundry feels overwhelming. Even making small decisions becomes mentally exhausting. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is operating in survival mode. And survival mode changes everything. When your mind feels constantly stressed, it stops prioritizing growth. It prioritizes protection. That means less motivation, less focus, less emotional energy, less patience. Your brain isn't trying to help you succeed anymore. It's just trying to help you survive. That's why mentally exhausted people often say things like, I want to do it, I just can't start. Read that again. Because lazy people don't want to start. Mentally exhausted people do. They desperately want their energy back. They want to feel normal again. But instead of compassion, they attack themselves. You're lazy. You're wasting your life. Why can't you just be productive like everyone else? And that self-hatred creates even more pressure, which creates more exhaustion, which creates more procrastination. And suddenly, you're trapped in a cycle that feels impossible to escape. Now, here's the scary part. Most people think rest will fix this, but distraction is not recovery. Scrolling for hours while feeling guilty isn't recovery. Watching videos while your brain is still overwhelmed isn't recovery. Even sleep isn't always enough, because mental exhaustion isn't just physical, it's emotional, psychological. Invisible pressure builds up over time. The pressure to succeed, the fear of falling behind, the constant comparison, the emotional pain you never fully processed, the stress you pretend doesn't affect you. Your brain carries all of that quietly every single day until one day you wake up feeling emotionally disconnected from life itself, and nobody notices. Because from the outside, you still look functional, you still smile, you still show up, but internally you feel tired in a way sleep cannot fix. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe you've been trying to fix emotional exhaustion with productivity hacks. Maybe you've been treating yourself like a broken machine when you're actually a human being carrying too much for too long. Because healing doesn't begin when you force yourself harder. It begins when you finally understand what your mind has been trying to tell you this whole time. That you were never lazy, just overwhelmed, overstimulated, emotionally exhausted, and trying your best to survive it silently. So before you call yourself lazy again, ask yourself this. When was the last time your mind truly felt at peace?